It's my privilege to welcome our President, Sam Jacobs, to address us.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam Jacobs, and it is the distinct honor to be speaking to you tonight as president of Temple Ohav. Years ago, when my wife Christina and I made the difficult choice of our lives in Brooklyn, New York, and relocate to the Pittsburgh area where she had grown up, we experienced a mix of emotions: excitement, resignation, perhaps even trepidation. We arrived in January 2018 in the middle of a snowstorm. Felt isolated. I had my family, and we were initially staying in the house where Christina lived as a child, a house I knew for sure. But most of our belongings were in storage, and everyone I knew and who knew me was not here. Something was missing. There was a void, spiritually and communally. In other words, I needed to find my tribe. The house, luckily, did have Wi-Fi, and after some online digging, I sent an email to the nearest Reform synagogue. And within minutes, maybe it was hours, I don't exactly recall, I got an email back from none other than our very own Jackie. You know Jackie, right? Yeah, right. We all know Jackie. Anyway, Jackie was right on it with a note welcoming us to the area and an invitation for the three of us, Christina, our then 4.5-year-old daughter, Nina, who's sitting right there. She's not 4.5 anymore. And for me to attend the upcoming Purim service, Spiel, and Carnival. Who could say no to that? What better way to be introduced to a synagogue, one filled with people I didn't know, than to see everyone, including the rabbi and religious school director, Andrea Guthrie, and all the other children, dressed as Star Wars characters. I can't think of one. They even had Nina, who she herself was dressed as a Jedi, stand here on the bima with the other children to perform in a way that I've come to find that only TOS can. The story of Purim, as told through the narrative of the Galactic Empire versus the rebellion. You see the parallels, right? Purim was followed by an invitation for Nina to attend a Sunday religious school class. Driving home following that class and hearing all about it through her radiant smile and enthusiasm, we made the easy decision that day to join and participate in all that TOS had to offer. Fast forward to that October. On a clear Saturday morning, I arose early to head to the airport, Pittsburgh to LaGuardia, en route to Portland, Maine for a friend's 40th birthday celebration. As I sat at LaGuardia, enjoying a coffee, my phone began to blow up. I received text after text asking me if I'm all right. I had no idea why they were asking. But already 6 months into my family's relationship with Temple Ohav Shalom, friends and family from all over knew how closely I had begun to identify with my Jewish community here in Pittsburgh. Today we remember that day, and probably exactly where you were when you learned of the events taking place on the morning of October 27, 2018, the morning of the Tree of Life massacre, the worst act of anti-Semitism in America, in American history, right here in our city. Other horrific acts, DC, Boulder, our own governor's mansion here in Harrisburg, continue to plague our nation. But thank God, we have the robust protections and security networks linking all area congregations and the Jewish Federation of Pittsburgh together. Here in this building, ironically, we are probably safer than anywhere else tonight. That morning I was safe and my family was safe, but I imagine with full confidence that there's not a soul in this room who wasn't affected in some way by what happened that day. It made us take notice. Perhaps for some of us, for the first time in a long time, it made us recognize what it really means to say, I am a Jew. A meeting was held here not long after for Temple members to discuss the incident. And I asked our then Rabbi, Jeremy Weisblatt, what can we do? His response simply was, be proudly and joyfully Jewish. Actually, I think that's a Rabbi Bisno phrase, but it was something along those lines. And he also said to get involved, join committees. So it began. I joined the membership committee and men's club, Not long after, a spot opened up on the board, VP of Youth. I was asked to step in. Sure, why not, I thought. I don't have much else to do. Well, as the newly minted VP of Youth, I couldn't let the men's club fellas working on revamping the youth lounge go at it alone, could I? So I jumped into that to help. And I don't know who declared that it's difficult for men over a certain age to make new friends, but those guys with whom I spent multiple Sunday mornings painting and assembling furniture, Mike, Andy, Mark, not here, others, these guys have become close friends. And later I went on to become men's club president, and then last year was asked to join the executive committee. And now, here I am, your temple president, speaking to you from the Bema as we usher in the Jewish New Year. I bet the kids I was with in USY back on Long Island never would have thunk it. Over the past number of years, our member and our board have loyally, courageously, and with great responsibility steered Temple Ohav Shalom through several challenges. Some were pandemic related. Some of those challenges continue to linger to this very day. But we also came together in a very special way during that time to provide resources, comfort, and even a bit of online amusement. Those of you who participated in trivia know what I'm talking about. And for many of us, our attachment and commitment to TOS deepened during those difficult days. I would be remiss to neglect mentioning the challenges related to personnel. Having cycled through a number of talented people, changes at times are necessary. We searched for and found our song leader extraordinaire, Mr. Grant Halaz, to whom for his dedication, talent, and wit, we are very grateful. We are also fortunate to recruit back to Temple Ohav Shalom. Where am I? Our amazingly talented, dedicated, passionate, several other adjectives, religious school director, Andrea Guthrie, who is not with us tonight. Hopefully she's online watching, who has since expanded her role within our community to include director of our Center for Early Learning. We are incredibly fortunate to have Andrea in both of these roles. And lest we forget that period of uncertainty during which we were engaged in a search for a new rabbi, led by the efforts of committee chair Brian Goldman and assisted by several other volunteers, we searched high and low, speaking and meeting with rabbis from multiple walks of life and locales. But little did we know that we needed only look a few miles south to find the spiritual leader sitting behind me on this bema right now, Rabbi Bisno. And in our rabbi, we have found a partner who is already in the year and a half or so that he's been with us, has brought a steadiness and a sense of optimism into our midst, our community a proud and joyful vision for our temple's future. And through all of these challenges that led us to these three people who have become such an integral part of our community, there were always two constants. The first, of course, since we're on the subject of staff, is Jackie Light, who just this past celebrated 16 years with Temple Ohav Shalom. I think we can all agree that we are very fortunate to have Jackie as our temple administrator. Her incredible dedication to this community is truly a blessing to us all. The second constant has been all of you. All of you who have continuously offered your time and more to support this community. So tonight, even as I am a long way from the congregation where I first stood on the bema the day I became bar mitzvah, I am home. And there is no one with whom I'd rather be than this temple family. Whenever we have joy to share, we are challenged as Jews, such as we were in generations past and have been again since that other October morning, the one on Simchas Torah Shabbat morning, October 7th, 2023, when once again many of us showed up here, right here, to be with one another initially to observe Shabbat and the joyous celebration of receiving Torah, a day that ended up being one where we look to each other again for comfort and support. I know this is why I am here tonight, and I suspect the same may be true for many of you. Being Jewish, for me, is a sense of pride, and I love when my expression of Judaism can be joyful, as it is this evening. But as we all know too well, we must savor our joyous simchas because life's challenges are inconvenient and constant. At our core, we are all members of an ancient and sacred chain of traditions. Ours is a community, a people that has survived for generations through both hardship and triumph. It is the connections, the memories, and the celebrations, the community, and the sense of covenant to Hashem and to our people, and what brings us back here into this building to this day on the eve of the new year. Temple Ohav Shalom means so much to me. Over the past 7 years as a member, my family and I have forged friendships, and I have found deep meaning in being part of what we do here. In offering my time and whatever talents I bring, I've had the privilege of getting to know and work with so many of you, and I'm grateful for all that we have accomplished so far together. And now, with all these pieces in place, I'm even more excited to be part of building out Temple Ohav Shalom's next 50 years. But for our community to continue to thrive, we must all contribute. So I ask, what does this community mean to you? And how can you help ensure Temple Ohav Shalom continues to be the center of Jewish life in the North Hills for years to come? Annually, we hold our high holiday appeal. And I am thrilled to announce that we are, at this point, very close to both meeting and exceeding our High Holy Days appeal goal. Thanks to a combined $25,000 pledge in matching funds from two of our families, thank you to Mark and Jennifer Rothenberg, and to Lee and Cindy Harrison, and to everyone who has already contributed or pledged. Your early and generous support of Temple Ohav Shalom is beyond measure. There's still time to give, and I hope, if you are in a position to do so, that you will. If now is not the right time, however, for you and your family, there will be other opportunities and other ways in which you may contribute. So before Grant picks up his guitar and starts playing me off the bima, I want to conclude with this. This incredibly special community, what we do here, to quote Rabbi Bisno again, is proudly, joyfully, we live proudly, joyfully Jewish lives. We are here for one another and welcome all families and individuals to join us. We want you to be part of everything that we do here. Thank you again for the privilege of serving as your president. I look forward to meeting those I haven't yet had the chance to. If not tonight, then on Yom Kippur, or at my favorite upcoming event, Pizza in the Hut, our upcoming Sukkot Shabbat. I truly love that night. I look forward to sharing these days and many more with you in the new year, and to many more healthy, happy, and heartwarming years together. Shana Tova.